Oh my God, the steaks! She goes out there. She lifts the lid. This black smoke comes billowing out.
Well, a warm welcome to you all. This video is about whether carnivore is sustainable.
Yes! Oh, sorry.
We're not there yet. I'm JJ. I am a life coach. I eat mostly meat, and that's helped me get rid of my cellulite.
I'm a novelist, and I eat mostly meat, and carnivore has helped me lose about 20 pounds of fat.
Excellent. So the question today is whether carnivore is sustainable. And I have to tell you, I think it is. And here's why. Oh my gosh, we ate off plan recently.
Yesterday.
And today, I don't feel so great.
Don't let her laughing and smiling fool you. We're bringing it for you.
We're bringing it for you. Today, I feel just exhausted. I am so tired. My brain is dead. It's like not working at all. And my mood is really kind of low. I actually felt like I wanted to cry this morning. I tried to squeeze some tears out, but I couldn't. But that's all unusual for me right now.
It wasn't always.
No.
Pre-carnivore, this was a common thing.
Yeah.
But since carnivore, this whole energy she had today, not the usual state.
No.
Well, what happened for me was I donate blood every 2 months because I have kind of high iron levels, and the doctor's like, we'll just take care of that through phlebotomy, and you'll do something good for other people. After you give blood, they've got their little cantina, they call it. I don't know why. It's held at a church cafeteria, and it's just a box full of carbs. When I did it the first time, I was so nervous because I don't like the whole idea of it was just so gross to me. I had like the hyper willies. So I said I would reward myself by having one of those treats. Now I started doing this pre-carnivore, so that wasn't difficult. It wasn't difficult to convince myself that I deserved a treat. I went over there and I perused what was on offer, and they had mini Oreos. Now it was a small little snack pack, so it wasn't a huge amount. So I'm like, I'm gonna have the mini Oreos. And I was eating and I was like, this doesn't even taste that good. But on principle,
It's my treat.
it's my treat.
My reward.
So I'm going to eat all 10 of these mini Oreos. And they were these tiny little things. They should be cereal. I didn't immediately feel bad. And I went on about my day. But then I was like, well, I really did a good thing. I probably saved somebody's life. So I might as well have a little bit of something else. So I stopped at a gas station.
Oh.
And I got a gas station pre-made little ham sandwich. It was this big. And I put some mustard on it and ate it, so I ate the bread. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it was ham and cheese, and not much ham and cheese. Even when I was doing it, I'm like, this is probably going to come back to bite me. Even though I thought, it's not going to be that bad. I can't imagine it'll keep me awake. My gut has rejuvenated. It'll be able to process this. Well, it can with Tums.
So you were on the Tums last night.
I had to be on the Tums in order to process it for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. Whereas if I had just eaten meat, there would have been no Tums needed.
So is carnivore sustainable?
It's self-correcting because I have no desire to feel the way that I felt after I ate food that wasn't even that great.
I agree, it's self-correcting because some of my biggest benefits are mood and energy, and this is not great. I'm not enjoying today at all.
No, not worth it.
No, not worth it at all.
Because not only do you not feel good, but you're losing the productivity of the day, and you have to go into a play performance tonight.
Yes. I'm wearing the shirt. It's opening night. I help direct youth theater in town, and this is show weekend, and I'm heading into it feeling like crud.
And you have to be on.
And I've got to be on.
To wrangle those kids.
Yeah, we go up age usually about 4th grade through middle school. This is a smaller cast of about 35 kids, but that's still plenty of kids.
I bet you they sense weakness.
Some of them do. Yeah, so I'm not thrilled. So what I did today is I started my day. I was, of course, hungry. My food yesterday didn't really nourish me, which you've got to talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
But I was hungry this morning, so I broke my fast. You have an eating window. I broke my fast a little earlier with a fat snack. I literally had some beef fat and an Element, brain dead, electrolyte with some cream. And that was what I had for a small breakfast, but to try to start nourishing my body and get things turned around. And then for lunch, I did have a steak with some butter.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping my body feels a little more nourished by the time I go to play practice this evening. Or
Performance.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's a performance.
So I don't do the time restricted eating. And so this morning at around 8, I had my normal breakfast that I have. I get up usually around 6, 5:36, have coffee, and then I don't eat until 8. I suppose that is time restricted.
Well, there still is.
It's like a 13-hour.
Yeah, there still is a fast there, which is important.
But I don't do it thinking of it that way. I'm not hungry yet. And I don't eat when I'm not hungry. And I just had my normal breakfast, and I had my normal lunch, but my stomach, I don't feel the nausea that I was having, but I still have a little acid reflux because of what I ate yesterday. So crazy.
Yeah.
But it'll settle down today, and I'm sure tomorrow I'll feel fine. When I had that food, even though I ate it and it made me feel like I had eaten, I did not feel like I was nourished. It was the strangest cognitive dissonance of being able to eat this and go, it wasn't satisfying in the triggering that sense of, I'm done eating, my body has what it needs. It actually said, that didn't count, keep eating. I mean, we all know how you just can't stop eating the Doritos or whatever it is. And you kind of laugh about it. I can't stop, take these away from me. After you've been away from it for a while, and then you do it, you're like, oh my God, I see now so clearly that this food is designed to make me eat it endlessly, because there was no point at which I did not want to eat more of it.
I said to you, I was almost done with mine, and I said, I'm just so sorry this is almost done.
Yeah, and that's not usual for her.
No.
Because you can moderate with
I
things
can.
like that, but I don't. I have to eat until I'm sick. If we'd had more, I probably would eat more because I was that far into it. I'm already going to pay the price. But I'm kind of glad we stopped where we did. But it's so hard to put into words that sense of difference between eating stuff that's really not food, high in sugar, and red meat, and how the body signals, I'm done. Because with red meat, I think there's very few people where you can overeat it. But for me, it is, there's no more of this going in. It never feels like I'm bloated or going to be sick because I ate it.
I didn't feel bloated per se after eating yesterday, but I did feel... Dr. Barry uses the term, eat carnivore until you're comfortably stuffed. Well, I did eat until I was uncomfortably stuffed, but it was not carnivore.
It was not carnivore.
So I wasn't bloated or anything, but I just...
Too full, yeah.
It just didn't feel good.
There's sort of a malaise.
That's what yes.
Yeah, where it's just like a general full body sense of not being well.
Yeah.
And I don't like that feeling. That was the normal feeling, right?
Right.
For so many decades of our life.
The malaise.
Yeah, we were just like, I guess that's just how life is. And it's like, no, if you eat real food, you don't feel like that all the time.
It's hard to put in words unless you have experienced, and it's hard to believe, like telling people that, oh no, you're going to eat once or twice a day and probably be full. Like you won't want snacks and you won't be craving these things and you won't need to eat 2 pounds of steak because you just can't stop. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So is it sustainable?
It is definitely sustainable because it's self-sustaining. It corrects you. When you go off the plan, the consequences just make you go right back on.
Yeah. That is provided you've done it long enough, I think.
You're a year and a half in.
Yep.
I don't know, I'm getting close to a year in.
Yep, you're a year
And
next month.
there were times where I was stricter and less strict. And every time that I'm stricter, I feel better. I start to make gains again. Make progress in my strength. I have a little bit of fat I could lose. I don't feel like I need to really lose a lot more. Not only is it sustainable, it's why would I want to leave
Well, yeah.
this way of eating?
And that
I
will,
can't even imagine.
I'm sure for us, that doesn't mean we won't ever have
Yeah.
off-plan meals.
Oh.
That'll happen. And yet, is it overall sustainable? It absolutely is. It
Yeah.
absolutely is. And I can't say that about when I did Weight Watchers. I cannot say that about when I did Whole30, or we tried the smoothies, or we tried the green juice. None of that felt sustainable.
Well, the Weight Watchers, I did that with you.
Yes.
Counting points.
Yep, that was after I was pregnant. I was losing my pregnancy weight.
It became like this maddening game of how do I earn more points and gain more points for dessert.
Yeah.
And so I would work out a lot in order to pay for desserts.
Yeah.
And I was always hungry and I was always cold.
Yes. Yes, which is weird for you.
Yeah.
Holy cow. But we would buy those little chocolate Weight Watchers cakes.
Yep.
Because that was part of it too. Yeah. You try to bank your points, but
Yeah.
you also buy the Weight Watchers desserts because they're very low in points, so
Yeah.
you can have more.
Yeah, and of course, I don't think that their point calculation system was on the up and up. On Whole30, because that was an elimination diet, that was 30 days of deprivation.
And challenging because
Yeah.
we had to make our own ketchup and just trying to replace a lot of the things that we were used to
They
doing.
allowed sweet potatoes,
But they allowed, yes.
which was the Achilles heel of the whole thing because I learned to love them. They're like dessert for me. You put butter and cinnamon on those, and it's just like a dessert. And I've worn a CGM while I've eaten that. That is not a low glycemic index thing. I don't care what anybody says. Sweet potatoes are dangerous. They're called sweet potatoes.
Why didn't we think
Yeah.
about that before?
When I was on keto, it was always, how do I get my 20 grams of carbs in the most delicious, sweet, bready way I possibly can?
Yeah.
I wasn't going to eat 20 grams of carbs in broccoli. I already felt like I was deprived. So why wouldn't I try to make it delicious? But for me, that is a trap because I will always say, well, maybe I can do 30 grams. Maybe I can do 50 grams. Well, I'm going out of ketosis for part of the day, but then overnight I'm back in.
Gaming the system.
It's all gaming.
Yeah.
And carnivore, there's no gaming. You don't eat any of it. And if you don't eat any of it for long enough, your body learns how it actually should feel.
Yeah.
And then when you do eat it and you feel like crap, you're like, why did I eat it? I don't want to eat that anymore.
I'm done. I'm done with that.
The temptation is really low.
Yeah.
Really low. So, my next blood donation,
Yeah.
am I going to go to the cantina and grab a packet of mini Oreos?
Yeah, are you?
No.
But this is one of those things we've talked about carnivore being a skill.
Yeah.
So you're gaining the skill of not rewarding yourself after a blood donation
Yeah.
with that. But will you do something else? Like, I don't know. Will you reward yourself with something carnivore?
Well, I don't really see carnivore foods as rewards. The better reward that is a tasty treat would be a keto chow.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that, where I'd pre-make it, I'd come home and I'd have my little keto chow, which I have very, very rarely.
Yeah.
I mean, not even once a week would I have a keto chow. But it's not as bad as Oreos and a gas station ham sandwich. It was so small. I thought, this is safe.
It was not. And
I
then
don't know what's wrong with me. It's like that gas station chicken that I bought
Oh gosh, yeah.
And that,
which was more on plan. I mean, that wasn't
that
bad.
was intended to stay on plan. But what I didn't realize was it was the 2-day-old chicken. It was so cheap. I was like, oh, this is a great deal. And we got home. I'm like, why is this cold? I thought this was fresh. And then I looked at it. It was like sell by 2 days ago. So I nuked it and I ate it, and it was not good.
The dogs ate well that day.
I don't even know if it was a good idea to let them have it. Oh my God. The lesson is the gas station really isn't where you should shop. I mean, emergency eggs, emergency bacon, it makes sense. But I had hamburger for lunch, hamburger patties,
Yes.
not a hamburger.
Clear.
And my body was just, it just sucked that beef in, and I learned something. Those were pre-made hamburger patties, Kirkland from Costco. I had never eaten those before. And the thing I learned is smaller ground beef patties cook faster than one ginormous one.
Now, if you haven't seen Eric's What I Eat in a Day video,
Yeah.
he shows his technique for the giant
It's like
patty.
a pound of ground beef
That
that I just kind of mash flat and then cook for a random amount of time. And they're usually kind of half raw in the middle, which, I don't know. Maybe that's easier to digest. I don't think it's advised.
Remember when I couldn't touch meat
That was most of your life,
most
right?
of my life? It was so gross.
Can you actually touch it without gloves now?
I was doing it today. I was
Yeah.
making hamburger patties. I bought the tube of meat
Yeah.
and was just
Making patties?
Making patties.
You didn't use the hamburger press?
no.
That thing doesn't work. It sticks. And then you can't extract it in one piece.
Yeah.
So what's the technique for using a hamburger press thing to make hamburger patties so that they actually come out in one piece? I bet you it's something like get them near freezing.
Maybe. I don't know.
Fill them with breadcrumbs.
I don't know. We've had the press for years, and it got almost no use because
Yeah.
we never had hamburgers.
Yeah, homemade hamburgers is never a thing.
No.
Not in my family. I don't know that my mom ever made hamburger patties.
Oh, my mom did.
Yeah, they were hockey pucks, I bet.
Yeah.
But you did not get diseases.
I did
from
not get diseases from those. I just got a huge meat aversion that lasted for decades.
There was one time my mom was entertaining somebody, and she had gotten into the grilling out. This was
Grilling out.
This was the 80s, so I'm gonna guess this was probably around 1982, and she had gotten her Weber cooker, but it was one that cooked into gas, so fancy.
Very fancy.
And she put some T-bones on for lunch for her guest, which was already unusual. And there was some wine. Now, I'm not there. I'm up in my room goofing around, and I come downstairs and I'm like, is something burning? And my mom's like, the steaks! So this is like 2-3 hours later. And so she's like, oh my God, the steaks. She goes out there. She lifts the lid. This black smoke comes billowing out. And there was 2 charred bones.
Really?
From the T-bones. And the meat had just turned to ash. And I laughed, and she was so mad at me.
Oh my gosh.
And she was like distraught at the waste of meat. You know, I was 12. I didn't think that was the biggest problem. I thought there was a whole series of problems that preceded that involving wine. But she had come up like my dad through the Depression, and so the loss of food, it was an unforgivable sin for her.
Especially steak.
And,
Holy
yeah,
cow.
steak. Even that was too cooked for her. The first time I think she ever made something that was too well done. Well, I don't know what I'm having for dinner tonight. I assume that I won't be making my own since you have to leave go to this play.
We'll see. We'll have to discuss.
Yeah.
I've got some options.
Oh, well, I like that.
So we'll see.
I would rather eat something I don't like that I didn't prepare than prepare something I do like. All of those who have been commenting and liking and who are subscribed, thank you so much. It's just meant a ton to us to watch slowly the comments start to build, and the repeat viewers who keep coming back and enjoy our vibe. We're here primarily to entertain and share with you our journey and share in your journey as you reveal it in the comments. We love seeing that stuff. We try to comment back when we can, but obviously we have things to do. We can't be just constantly monitoring the comments and replying instantly. So we do see them all. We do read them all.
Thank you so much.